We're talking college sports in the Deep South where college football is king. And the SEC conference, arguably one of the better conferences in all of college football, the SEC West, with its fierce rivalries and competitiveness, especially at the line of scrimmage. A lot of physicality there. Down in East Alabama, they call this, where Auburn University rests, they call it the loveliest village on the plains, where the battle cry is War Eagle. Fearless and true gang, let's get the comment section active. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn War Eagle. All right, Fearless and true gang, let's go ahead and get this comment section active. Had a little bit of content for you guys going into the weekend. I want to give you guys my 5 major concerns going into the 2019 season, and I hope that you guys can give at least 5 concerns of your own in the comment section. We know that Auburn is coming into a very pivotal year program wise here in 2019. We're able to convince a couple of guys to stay, especially along the defensive line with Marlon Davidson, Derek Brown, and Nick Cole, things of that nature. But there's some things that I know you guys are thinking about that's really causing a degree of fan anxiety, so to speak, as we approach the Advocare Classic against Oregon that will take place August the 31st in Arlington, Texas. War Eagle. My first concern is the quarterback situation at Auburn. Although talented, I do believe, especially now, if Auburn wasn't playing Oregon, that wouldn't be much of a concern. If it was like, say, a FCS school or a non-Power 5 conference team where the anxiety wouldn't be so high, the venue and the consequence somewhat so high, I wouldn't be so concerned about this. One thing I'm concerned about with the quarterback position is ball protection in the Advocare Classic. That's going to be a crucial piece. Because I'm going to do a video later on Andy Avalo's version of defense, and his defense is very disruptive. And that's a bit of a concern when you have a first-year starting quarterback, trying to make some things happen, trying to secure the spot at quarterback leading into the season. He wants to be the guy that leads this team, but you definitely don't want a debacle in the Advocare Classic. We want to think that ball protection over the summer months and fall camp will be of utmost importance as we approach this 2019 season. The quarterback battle has been narrowed down to Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix, who 6 months ago was playing high school football at Pinson Valley, led his team to a state championship, as well as Mr. Football for the state of Alabama. But that's still a major concern, although some talented options there. Number 2 is the coaching changes. Now, of course, these are guys who are familiar, some of which are familiar with the Auburn program. Wesley McGriff and Carnell Williams, Carnell Williams actually was a huge football star at Auburn, had a nice career in the NFL, decided to come back to Auburn to coach. He was offered the position as the running backs coach. But then you factor in Kenny Dillingham. How are these guys going to mesh together and help create a positive culture for the Auburn Tigers? I feel pretty good about it, but at the same time, still somewhat of a concern, because whenever you have coaching changes, there's just a difference in mentality, difference in the approach, and it could, especially with the Advocare Classic coming, definitely want to make sure that is gelled together. My third concern is the secondary for the Auburn Tigers. Although a little more experience than last year, had some major issues, though, especially in coverages, usually in position. But we want to see how much more fundamentally sound the secondary will be this year. I really like the switch of Christian Tutt and Javaris Davis, as Javaris Davis will probably play that boundary cornerback role, and Christian Tutt will be one of the nickelbacks. Also, Smoke Monday will be returning, and also Zion Puckett, one of the recruits from 2019, will be available as well. And the linebacker position also concerns me as well, because you just don't have the experience. It appears you have the athleticism. Now, on film of the spring game, they look kind of small, but that kind of takes me back to 2004 when Travis Williams was the linebacker. Those guys were small as well, but they were very effective as a linebacker core. So that's another concern of mine is the linebacker position. How quickly can they adjust and make plays? Because you definitely don't want a situation where the linebackers don't necessarily gel until midseason, especially with having the AdvoCare Classic coming along. Number 4, in times past, we think about games where we felt like Auburn could win the game, but it just depended on what version of a Gus Malzahn game plan you were going to see. I think about the Mississippi State game from last year. I felt like Auburn probably should have beat Mississippi State, but the game plan just was not effective. A lot of miscues, just not a lot of solidarity on the offense. And it proved to be costly in a game that Auburn otherwise could have won. And that's something that you definitely want to fix as Gus Malzahn has to coach with reasonability. Not like that crap that happened against Clemson a few years ago. Not like the second half against Georgia in 2016. Not like the second half of LSU in 2017. You just don't want those things to happen. Proper, logical coaching adjustments must be made. One concern as well, number 5, is the September and October stretch. This is going to be a very interesting stretch for the Auburn Tigers. Now, of course, it's inevitable. All SEC teams during this particular time have this similar stretch. When we look at the Auburn Tigers, you're talking Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, and LSU. Obviously, this will shape the season. You definitely have to take advantage of opportunities. When you're up 2 touchdowns with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that urgency has to kick in to say we have to win this game. We have to keep doing what we're doing. We can't hold back. We can't start just playing to finish out, playing to hold on to the lead. You have to continue to extend your leads in games like this. Now, in my honest opinion, this stretch is very winnable for the Auburn Tigers with the right approach. Obviously, you take it one game at a time. I know that's simple, but you can't, obviously won't be allowed to look ahead. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, and LSU will be, probably not Arkansas as much, but Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, and LSU are highly regarded coming into this season. And this is going to be very, very crucial that Auburn takes advantage and be very successful during this particular stretch. Now, that's my 5, guys. I want to know in the comment section what your 5 is. Where do what are your major concerns for the Auburn Tigers coming into the 2019 season? Because we all have them. My list will probably be a little bit different than yours. Yours might go a different way. But once again, let's go ahead and get the comment section active. Go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Go ahead and like the channel. Like this particular video, and we'll see you on the next one. Once again, it's Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn, War Eagle.